Indeed, Joe Walsh, boy, since 1993, Joe has been the St. Louis Cardinals sheriff. Guess that's a nickname he picked up along the way, but as their director of security, Walsh is the man who makes sure still that fans have a safe and enjoyable trip each time they come to Busch Stadium. He also is responsible for the Cardinals players and fan safety, which is a huge undertaking, as everyone knows in today's world. He protected Mark McGwire both home and away during McGwire's historic pursuit of Roger Maris's single-season home run record in 1998. He has overseen the protection of Presidents George W. Bush and Barack Obama during their appearances at Busch Stadium. And he also helped implement the use of drug-sniffing dogs in and around the stadium, which obviously keeps everyone safer as they come down to St. Louis. All of this, of course, is very serious work. It'd be difficult for anyone here to take on what Joe has done. But Joe, who will retire before opening day, following 16 years with the St. Louis Police Department, several years with Anheuser-Busch, and 24 years with the Cardinals. He's always had a time for an encouraging word and a warm smile, no matter when you see him, no matter where you see him. The lifelong St. Louis resident is being recognized tonight as the recipient of the Harry Mitauer Good Guy Award, and he is a good guy. Take my word for it, please. Please welcome Joe to the podium.
Good evening, everybody. First, for all you cannabis users, it's not drug sniffing dogs. Okay, it's explosive sniffing dogs. Just in case you're worried. I don't know. I really want to thank the baseball writers for having me here tonight. When I look around at my fellow recipients up here, I'm thinking, what in the hell am I doing up here? I mean, these are, some of the heroes of my youth. I was in high school when the '67 team won. I was a senior at that time, and it was kind of bittersweet. I loved these guys, just like everybody else in St. Louis, but it was at about that time I realized I wasn't good like these guys. And I was going to have to find work somewhere. And little did I realize it was still going to be baseball, only in a different way. Before I get started, I want to introduce my wife and my son. Nancy and I have been married for over 45 years. And thank you. We've been together a lot longer. We both went to St. James grade school. So she gets mad at me when I say this, but it took me until I got taller than her to ask her to go out, so. But my son Kevin is with her tonight, and couldn't be more proud of his son. He's representing the rest of the family. I have 3 daughters also who couldn't be here tonight, and I've got 13 grandchildren. Nancy, and obviously at $150 a ticket, they're going to have to hear this on the radio. But, so, I can honestly say I owe a lot to a lot of people just to be up here. And first and foremost are the DeWitts. For 21 years I've worked for Bill and his father, and they couldn't be better. They've always trusted my judgment. They've always listened to me. And they've supported everything I've asked them to do. And I think as both a Cardinal employee, as a fan of the Cardinals, and as a St. Louisan, we couldn't ask for better owners. I mean, they are... I mean that with all sincerity. They not only show a great stewardship for the Cardinal team, they take great pride in it, but they're also just quality people. I mean, they care about the communities in which they live, and I'm forever grateful for them. I can honestly say, too, that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all my fellow Cardinal employees, and I include all the other people that maybe aren't directly working for the Cardinals, but work with us, like fire, police, sports service workers, a cleanup crew. It's because of the pride that they take in their jobs that I think is really, when we hear about the Cardinal way, we all think of the ball players, and of course, they do have their strengths and their way of doing things, but I think it comes down to everybody in the organization pulling the same way. And we all think that there's a right way of doing it. And I think that's the Cardinal way, the right way. So, and one final thing, I'd just like to dedicate this to my dad. Dad passed away about 6 years ago, but he's the one that introduced me to baseball, and he passed that love of the game on to me and to my 7 siblings. And I think one of the fondest memories I have growing up is, it's kind of silly, but you run out to get the paper in the morning, or get it in the evening. Back then we had 2 papers. And so I'd always get the paper, and I was the oldest one, so Dad would give me the sports, and he'd take the front page. And while Mom was cooking, getting breakfast ready or getting dinner ready, I'd be reading the sports, and then I'd be yakking to Dad about it. And no matter what, even if Dad was reading something, he was never too busy not to talk about what happened. Usually it was about Stan or something, because I was little when Stan was playing, or if it was in the wintertime, it was Bob Pettit. Man, we had NBA too then. So, but that's what I remember the most. And Dad was always willing to talk about it. And and that's what I ask the writers today when you think about what you do. I just ask that you bring that same independent reporting, and use your honesty and accuracy in your reporting, and make it like the writers of years ago did, where they were able to create a story that left a bond between a father and a son. So thank you all very much.